Still have to do a couple of little things to finalize my going live on all platforms. So I'm going to do some. Okay, go live. Why is nothing happening when I click this? Okay, now it looks like something might be happening. So this is another one of my spur of the moment, spontaneous live streams, and maybe I should come up with a cooler sounding word for that, like flash live stream. It's a flash live stream where I'm going to do some original songs for you. And the reason I'm doing these flash live streams is because of my health. For those of you who do not know, after successfully avoiding COVID-19 for 3 years, I caught it last March and I've been sick ever since with what's known as long COVID or long haul COVID, which can, affect a lot of people in different ways. But one of the really common ways, and the way that it affects me, is with chronic fatigue. So I can't go more than a couple hours without lying down, and I just did. So now I have a little bit of energy, and I'm going to play some of my songs for you. And although I could be really miserable, and I am, about this situation, I also have a lot to be grateful for, because here I am in this nice house. Really nice little house with this roof over my head, and there's food. If I get hungry, I'll have dinner tonight and I don't have to worry about it. So I wrote this little song. I actually wrote this during lockdown when I was reading about how people are being so depressed over their, having to stay home. And it's not that I don't have, problems with depression. I certainly understand depression. But at the same time, when I read that, I just realized how lucky I really am and how much I have to be grateful for. So I wrote this song. I'm just laying low, got no place to go, but I've got time. I don't need a car, I've got my guitar and this song of mine. Maybe I should be bored, just me and these four walls. Maybe I should have more, but I'm fine living small. Not a whole lot going on, not a whole lot. Not a whole lot going wrong, not a whole lot. Got gratitude and a heartbeat. What more do I really need? Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. I like what I've got. I've got a bite to eat. Got 2 shoes on my feet at a place called home. My body works okay. The bills will all get paid, and I like this song. Maybe I could have more, but I could have a lot less. Maybe I can afford a little time with no stress. Not a whole lot going on, not a whole lot. Not a whole lot going wrong, not a whole lot. Got gratitude and a heartbeat. What more do I really need? Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. I like what I've got. There are crazy days that tire me out to the bone. It's fine sometimes if the world just leaves me alone. Not a whole lot going on, not a whole lot. Not a whole lot going wrong, not a whole lot. Got gratitude and a heartbeat. What more do I really need? Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. Gratitude and a heartbeat. What more does anyone need? Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. Thank you. So that song is called Gratitude in a Heartbeat, as you might have possibly guessed, but you might have also guessed that it's called Not a Whole Lot. And the story behind that is, I actually wrote it with that original title. Not a Whole Lot was the original title. And, you know, the way songs are professionally crafted, as I learned to do over many years, you have a title, and you write the lyric and the whole song around that title, and everything leads to the title, Not a Whole Lot. And I think I did a pretty good job of doing that, and then I released a song with that title. And then I kept thinking, you know, that line, gratitude and a heartbeat, what more does anyone need? God, that's like, that line, I feel like that could be the best line I've ever written. You know, that's almost the closest I'll ever come to capturing the meaning of life in a song. So I re-released it with a new title, and I made a t-shirt with that message on it. And actually, I think I'm wearing that t-shirt. No, I'm not. I wore that yesterday. And then I made more, you know, I made it so that, you know, anybody can get that t-shirt if you go to my website. And you can also buy, and I made posters and, you know, other merch, as they say, around that theme, because I thought it's a message that people might really want to put out there and remind themselves and share with others. So that's the story behind that. Okay. So I said in that song that my body works okay, and I guess it still does. However, I mentioned this long COVID thing. So, otherwise known as long haul COVID. And this is a little song about what that's like. I just want my head on a pillow, my body flat out on a bed, the afternoon sun through my window. Tired of feeling half dead. I thought it would pass like a cold or a flu. Can't believe the nightmare this has turned into. It's a long haul, an uphill marathon with a lead ball. I have to drag along like an endless climb, a daily grind with all the strength I can find. It's a long haul, one small step at a time. I truly hate the whole notion of learning to live like this. I'm gonna have to keep hoping someday the fog will lift. If you know how I feel, you're not in this alone. You got someone who cares, someone who knows. It's a long haul, an uphill marathon with a lead ball. I have to drag along like an endless climb, a daily grind with all the strength I can find. It's a long haul, one small step wish more people were aware. There's real danger in the air, and it's a long haul. One small step at a time. And I gotta look at my Instagram because I can't see who's here unless I move this window. And also, there, now I can see the chat box. And I see, let's see, Roger. Roger is here. Hey, Roger. Welcome. I think that's your name. You know, my eyes are a little blurry. Even though I had cataract surgery, they're still blurry. But welcome. And I hope you'll hang out for a while. Leave a comment in the chat box. If you have any questions, any requests, if you know any of my songs, I'm doing original songs here. So if you ask for a cover song, there's a really good chance I won't know how to play it. Unless it's a Grateful Dead song, then there's a chance I will know how to play it. Although I haven't actually, you know, with my long COVID, it's hard to really spend a lot of time practicing cover songs or even my own songs. And another thing about this is there's something, the most sort of insidious part of this is what's called PEM, which is post-exertional malaise, which means I can overexert myself without realizing it. And then, like, I won't know it until the next day when my symptoms, they call it a crash, and the fatigue gets like that much worse and stays that way for like days or weeks. So I'm limiting these flash live streams to a half an hour to hopefully avoid overexerting. I've been on here 12 minutes, so that gives me another 18 minutes, which is time for a few more songs. And let's see, what should we do? I guess, let's see, should I do a love song? I haven't done a love song. I guess I should do a love song because why not? Which one should I do? Let's do an up-tempo. This song's actually, it's a love song, but it's also an apology, and it's a thank you and a promise. And it was designed as a real promise, not just some, you know, ride off into the sunset fantasy. I said a lot of things I shouldn't. Guess I took more than I gave. Things you asked me to, I wouldn't. Really hate who I became. Still you kept the faith in who I always was. Now I'll give it all I've got to really earn your love. I want to make you happy as it's possible to be. 'Cause baby, I love you madly, and you can always count on me. If you need a hand, an ear, or a shoulder, whatever I can do, I'll do it gladly. 'Cause my heart's one desire is I want to make you happy. Could be fighting off some disaster, or just saving you a trip to the store, or a neck rub so you'll feel pampered, or some togetherness behind closed doors. Anything to bring your world a little light. Every day until the day I bid this world goodbye. I want to make you happy as it's possible to be. 'Cause baby, I love you madly, and you can always count on me. If you need a hand, an ear, or a shoulder, whatever I can do, I'll do it gladly. My heart's one desire is I want to make you happy. I can't promise roses 24/7 or an endless state of blissful heaven. Even on the worst of days, you'll know I'm with you all the way. want to make you happy as it's possible to be. Baby, I love you madly, and you can always count on me. If you need a hand, an ear, or a shoulder, whatever I can do, I'll do it gladly. 'Cause my heart's one desire is I want to make you happy. If you need a hand, an ear, or a shoulder, whatever I can do, I'll do it gladly. 'Cause my heart's one desire is I want to make you happy. I want to make you happy. I want to make you happy. Oh, okay, I'm already starting to feel the fatigue coming back. Now, if I was smart, I would just end this right now. But you know what? I try to go for a half an hour, but maybe that's a bad idea right now. So, you know what I'm going to do? I have to do my latest song. This is my latest single. And I'm going to cheat to make sure that I can remember the chords. Okay, this is actually a political song which will probably be misunderstood or not understood, because there's some references to it, to things that are actually going on that you'd know about if you follow along very carefully, which most people don't. I could explain it all. I don't know, maybe I will. But first I'm going to do the song. Oh, I know what the problem is. I need a capo for this song. I need a capo. No wonder I'm having trouble with it. Turn on the news. Okay, let's do it. Turn on the news. There's endless raging and whining about groomers, elites, and radical thugs coming after us. Somebody's trying real hard to keep us divided, as the haters keep searching for things to make sound scandalous. It's easy to get swept up in this culture war till you see who the outrage machine is really working for. There's a trail to the boss's door. Follow the money. Gives and gets what? Gotta watch the flow of the funding, top down and back up. The fat cats and their flunkies are also power hungry. Who pulls the levers? As ever, follow the money. Owners of private jets get richer and richer, while the fountain of fear's favored party cuts their taxes. Their 5 men in robes made it legal to bribe politicians, 'cause that's really all a super PAC is. It's pay to play like their corporate donors want it. You and me take a back seat to their profits. Follow the money. Who gives and gets what? Gotta watch the flow of the funding, top down and back up. The fat cats and their flunkies are also power hungry. Who pulls the levers? As ever, follow the money. They know voters would kick them to the curb if we were watching what they do. So they get us mad and they keep us scared, 'cause they sure don't want us to follow the money. Who watch the flow of the funding top down and back up. The fat cats and their flunkies are also power hungry. Who pulls the levers as ever? Follow the money. Who pulls the levers? Go get her. Follow the money. So, those 5 men in robes were 5 Supreme Court judges who ruled that bribing politicians is actually not bribing, not bribery, but constitutionally protected free speech. You've probably heard of the Citizens United ruling. There are actually 2 rulings that came way before that. Back in 1976, there was the Buckley ruling. That's the one that said money is speech. And then there was the Bellotti ruling, which originally gave the corporations First Amendment rights, but that was expanded in Citizens United, which wiped away any remaining campaign finance laws. So funny, true story that most people don't know about, and I only learned about this recently. And even I was alive when it happened. But in 1971, well, first of all, this goes back to the 60s, because in the 60s, there was a consumer rights movement. And that was led by a guy named Ralph Nader, who you may have heard of for other reasons, but he was, the leading consumer rights advocate in the 60s. And this was very, very troubling to a tobacco lawyer named Lewis Powell. And in 1971, Lewis Powell wrote a memo to the board of, it was a confidential memo to the board of directors of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. And this memo was a blueprint for how, for the corporate takeover of America. And 2 months after he wrote this memo, Richard Nixon, the Republican president, nominated him, Lewis Powell, the author of the Powell memo, to the Supreme Court. And the memo was still a secret, so he got approved. He got approved, and he was appointed to the Supreme Court. And then the memo came out like a year later. It was uncovered, this confidential memo. Well, now that Lewis Powell, the author of the Powell memo, was on the Supreme Court, he was free to rule that, buying politicians was actually protected speech, and that, corporations were people. And that was the precedent for the Citizens United. So that's, I mentioned that in the song. You got these outrage media, this outrage media network. It started with talk radio, but then now we have Fox News and Newsmax, and they're always just finding things. They're just drumming up things to make people, hate other people and fear other people and be outraged. And then that tricks them. They all vote based on these outrage things. And meanwhile, the party that they're voting for goes into Congress when they get the power, and they cut taxes for rich people, and they, allow corporations to get away with whatever they want, and they nominate judges that will rule for corporate bribery. And that's what the song is about. Okay. So if I'm going to make it to the half an hour, I got 6 more minutes, but like I said, I better preserve myself. I'm kind of disappointed I can't make it to a half an hour. But I'm going to end the stream for my health purposes. And again, this is Seth Hilary Jackson. If you like this, please follow me on whichever channel you're watching on, or you can go to other platforms. I'm on Twitch, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Facebook, I'm not even bothering sending this over to Twitter. I guess I should, but I could send it to Twitter. Nobody pays any attention to Twitter anymore, because I don't pay $8 a month, so I'm kind of basically shadow banned over there like everybody else who doesn't want to pay for free speech. And I'm on, did I say Facebook? And I'm on Facebook and Instagram. So I go live on all those platforms. And go to my website. Oh, and tell your friends. Tell your friends about me. Say, hey, you found this awesome singer-songwriter that you need to check out, and send them over here to also follow me. And go to my website, SethHilaryJackson.com. You can read all about me. You can hear my recorded music. You can sign up for my mailing list. And I promise I won't spam you. As it is, I don't send out really enough updates as I'm advised to send out. And, but that'll keep you informed of, news, significant news. And let's see what else. Oh, you can buy my merch. That would be awesome. So, this has really been fun. I really wish I could keep this up for longer, but I'm going to have to end it now. And maybe hopefully I'll be able to do another one of these really